Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Abdul Hadi Sheikh. I am the CEO and co-founder of Islamicly. Thank you for joining us in today's Q&A session. So while people join in, let me clarify that the agenda for today's webinar is a simple Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can post it on the chat function on your right-hand side, as you can see it. We will ensure we will take all the questions and then end the webinar. But let's try and aim to close this webinar in probably an hour so that we don't extend a lot. The principal point, as I repeat myself, is the Q&A session. If you have any questions regarding Sharia investing, halal stocks, this app, that app, screening methodology, what kind of trading strategies are Sharia compliant, what strategies are not Sharia compliant, what does Islamicly do, what is the scope of Islamicly, how we can help you in your Sharia investing journey. Any question that you have, just feel free to post it on the chat function, and try and avoid not to repeatedly post the same question, because we will ensure that we will take all the questions and then only get the webinar over with. Sure, I'll also give you a brief background as to what is Sharia investing and what it allows and what it does not allow. There is a lot of content available on our YouTube channel, which is Islamicly. You can just search for it on YouTube and you will get it. We've done in the past about 20 to 25 webinars covering most of the topics: halal equity investing, what is permissible, what's not permissible, dividend purification. We have covered specific stocks as well. We've covered specific markets as well, like Sharia compliance of India stocks. We have done a webinar on. In addition to that, there is a lot of content available on our blogs as well. So blogs.islamicly.com. So if you go to our website, you can see those blogs. Even on the app, in the article section, in the forum tab below, and in the article section on top, you can find a lot of content available. So that will also help you in terms of understanding what is Sharia and what's not Sharia with respect to financial markets. Thank you for the questions. Thank you. Thank you. Lots of questions coming in. A couple of interesting questions that have already arrived as well. It will be quite an interesting session, inshallah. And I'll be very excited to answer those questions. While people start posting their questions, I will also try and give you a brief background as to what Islamicly is, because a lot of new users have joined Islamicly in the past couple of months. So essentially, Islamicly was set up in the year 2020. We created an app using which consumers can get high quality, real-time, institutional grade, Sharia scholars backed data as to which stocks are Sharia compliant and which stocks are not. We made it interactive in the sense that any compliance that we give, you can challenge that compliance by posting a question. We also made it interactive and social by opening up a forum so that if you have a question regarding why things are permissible and not permissible, on the forum, we try and give you answers directly from the Sharia scholars, from the minutes of the Sharia scholars meetings, from their fatwas in the past. And all answers are given in accordance with the discussions which the Sharia scholars have had in the past. Having said that, we've had a huge community. Alhamdulillah, we had a massive following globally. We were probably one of the first to launch this service. In addition to that, we have now in the last year given you access that you can start trading from the app itself, which can help you monitor your compliance in real time. It completely eliminates the need for doing the purification manually. If a stock that you have invested through Islamicly gives out a dividend, it gets computed automatically and you get the purification number. You really don't have to break your head in terms of anything, whether monitoring your stocks in a Sharia compliant manner, done automatically on the Islamicly app, dividend purification computation done automatically on the Islamicly app. You want to sell some stocks, you can do it from the app. You can buy some stocks, you can do from the app. We do not allow buying of non-compliant stocks, so you're safe as well that you will only be allowed to invest in Sharia compliant stocks. In addition to that, we are trying to improve the user experience as well. Last year, we also introduced a third-party asset manager, which is SEBI registered RA. So they give out a portfolio, which is green portfolio. They give out a customized portfolio, and alhamdulillah, that portfolio has also returned more than 50% in 1 year. All the details are already on the app. You can subscribe to that portfolio as well and gain access. Let's get started with the questions in a bit. Please keep posting your questions. I'll take another 5 minutes and give you a small overview for the newer entrants into the space as to how Islamicly is different and what are the rules of Sharia compliant investing. We have a clear distinguishing factor between us and everybody else in the market. We've been in this business for the past 23 to 24 years now. All our Sharia screening methodology is completely approved by the foremost scholars in the Sharia finance industry. The scholar names are available on our website. Dr. Muhammad Al-Ghari is the chairman of our Sharia board. He's also the chairman of the Dubai Islamic Bank Sharia board and hundreds of Sharia boards across. He's also the head of Sharia Standards Committee at AOFI. He is one of the founding members of AOFI as well. He is part of the AOFI Sharia board. So that's the pedigree that we bring in and give it to the consumers. In terms of Sharia compliant investing, it's pretty simple. You can invest in Sharia compliant stocks. Now, what are Sharia compliant stocks? They are available in the app itself. How do you define a Sharia compliant stock? It should pass the Sharia screening criteria. Essentially, the company should not get more than 5% revenue from non-permissible areas. What are those non-permissible areas available on the app? In addition to that, the company should also pass the financial ratio screening. Now, the financial ratio screening is a single point screening now. We only measure whether the company's debt, that is interest-bearing debt, should be less than 33% of the 3-year average market cap of the company. If a company passes that, that becomes Sharia compliant. On the app in real time, we give you which stocks are Sharia compliant. Stocks can change compliance. So if a stock is Sharia compliant today, can become non-compliant. Islamicly monitors that as well. So you can invest only in Sharia compliant stocks. You can invest only in a long-only strategy, that is buy first, sell later. Then comes another factor. People ask whether intraday trading is permissible. Yes, intraday trading is permissible if it is Sharia compliant stock, but you should buy the stock first, sell it later. Then the question comes in, can we use margins? Margins are permissible, there's no problem if there is zero interest in it. But if you're using the margin, you should become the owner of that stock. Usually, when you get margins from your broker, the broker is the owner and you are just allowed to give instructions to the broker. You do not own that stock. So if you do not own that stock, you cannot trade, you cannot profit from it. So essentially, you can do intraday trading in the cash segment. But if your broker allows you, gives you leverage, which is interest-free, and still gives you ownership of that stock, then it is still permissible. Then comes the point that if you invest in a stock and that stock becomes non-compliant, what do? You have 90 days to retain that stock. Beyond that 90 days, any gains from that stock will be considered impure. Prior to or within this grace period of 90 days, any gains that you make will be considered Sharia permissible. But if you get dividends, then within the 90-day period, then you have to apply the purification ratio, which is available on the app. If you're connected with your broker on the Islamicly app, you don't have to worry about any of those things. It's done automatically and in a very seamless manner. Beyond the 90-day period, if you continue to hold the stock, then every capital gain as well as any dividend received should be purified 100%. So those are the simple rules of Sharia compliant investing. It's pretty simple. Islamicly has created a very simple and straight through format for you to go ahead and invest in a Sharia compliant manner. Let's start taking the questions. I'll start from the first ones. Wa alaikum salam to everyone. Thank you for sending so many salams. Thank you so much. One of the first questions which have come in is a comment which says that, MashaAllah, great job Islamicly, Jazakallah khair. It is a humble effort in terms of giving you high quality research scholar backed and Sharia scholar backed information. And that is our endeavor. Inshallah, in a couple of months, you will see a completely new app also coming up. That's a heads up that I'm trying to give you here. Sam is asking me, what are the parameters to filter out Sharia compliant stocks? Sam, the screening criteria is available on the app as well. As I said, there are two components of Sharia screening criteria. First of all, who sets the Sharia screening criteria? Is it available in the Hadith? Is it available in the Quran? Directly, no. because joint stock companies were not in existence at that point in time. But the scholars have got together and using ijtihad and the rules of Maqasid al-Sharia, they have created a screening criteria which is called Sharia Equity Screening Methodology. Now, what is this methodology? The complete methodology is available on the app, on our website as well. And there is a separate webinar available on our Islamicly YouTube channel, which talks in detail about how and what is the Sharia screening criteria and how does Islamically consider each item. So there's a masterclass on Sharia equity screening as well. It's a longish session, I think 2 hours plus. You can watch that. But in short, the company has to pass two parameters. The first parameter is the business segment of the company. So if a company is deriving less than 5% of its revenue from any impure sources, what are these impure sources? Impure sources could be revenue from alcohol, interest income, gambling, pornography, advertising, sales of recreational cannabis. These are considered non-permissible areas. Sales of pork as well, definitely. If a company has less than 5% revenue from these elements, then it is considered to have passed the business segment of from a Sharia screening methodology perspective. Then it is subjected to its financial ratio screening. Now, in terms of financial ratio screening, we apply the current methodology that the Sharia board is following is application of only debt ratio. So if a company has any interest-based borrowing, that interest-based borrowing should be less than 33% of the 3-year average market cap of the company. So you don't have to bother about all of these things. It is good to know. All of these things are taken care of by Islamically, and you get real-time information as to which stocks are Sharia compliant and which stocks are not. So straight and simple forward as that. So that's a short answer. For the long answers, I've already given you the links from where you can get your answers. So if you have any additional questions, keep putting it. I'll hope to answer them quickly as well. There are a couple of questions which have come in, so I'll have to go slightly faster. So moving on to the second question. Salam, wa alaikum salam. Thank you very much for your work. Allah barik fi. As a European citizen, what is the best way to invest in ETFs with Islamically? There are a couple of ETFs. Okay, first of all, what is an Islamic ETF? Okay, there has been a lot of misconceptions going on in the market. Let me put it out. Let me put it up very clear that an ETF to be considered as Sharia compliant needs to have a Sharia compliance certificate, which is signed by a Sharia scholars board or at least a single Sharia scholar. Doing screening of an ETF will not result in that ETF becoming Sharia compliant. I have seen a couple of people, I have seen a couple of apps which are giving out halal ETFs by doing screening of that ETF. I mean, we have taken that methodology to the Sharia scholars, and the Sharia scholars have stuck to what they believe and what they think is that it's a structured product. If a structured product has to be Sharia compliant, somebody has to look at its structure and ascertain whether that structure is Sharia compliant or not. Like, for example, in an ETF. In an ETF, there is a disclosure of the holdings of the ETF. Now, what a lot of people are doing is they're looking at the holdings of the ETF, screening that holdings and creating a subset or creating the impure incomes of that holdings and ensuring that it is less than 5%. No, my friend, that will not lead to the ETF becoming Sharia compliant. So in simple words, an ETF to be Sharia compliant needs to have a Sharia certification. So there are a couple of ETFs in the US, there are a couple of ETFs in Canada, there are a couple of ETFs in the UK as well, Europe as well, wherein they have Sharia compliant. So on the Islamicly app, you can search for an ETF. If it is classified as Sharia compliant, it means it has a Sharia certification attached to it. If you cannot find it, feel free to write to us that is this ETF Sharia compliant or is that ETF Sharia compliant? Within 24 hours, we'll send you a response that if that ETF is Sharia compliant or not. So please do not invest in ETFs which does not have a Sharia certification. Screening of companies or equities based on the Sharia screening methodology, this principle from a Sharia perspective cannot be applied to ETFs. This is the clear view of the Sharia Scholars Board of Islamicly as well. So it is not my view, it is the view of the Sharia scholars. So ETF screening is not possible. There are so many elements through which an ETF can make money, which can lead it to be non-compliant, and you have absolutely no information about that. So that kind of information which is required to see whether an ETF is Sharia compliant or non-compliant is not disclosed by the ETF. So if it is Sharia compliant by certification, then it is compliant, you can invest in it. Otherwise, stay away. All right. Somebody's asking me, does Islamicly provide trade calls? As of now, Islamicly is not a SEBI-registered RA or an FCA-registered entity or an SEC-registered entity. So hence, we cannot provide any trading advice. We are not an investment advisory app as of now. As of now, we are not an app which gives you trading calls. But yes, we have a partner which is called Green Portfolio, which has created a portfolio of Sharia compliant stocks in India. Green Portfolio is a SEBI registered RA, so they are within their licensed right to advise people in terms of stock selection. So you can go to the Islamicly app. On the banners, you will see the Green Portfolio section. You can straight away go ahead and subscribe to them. There's a 40% discount available on that subscription for Islamicly users. You can enter that stock, enter that subscription, and straight away click through and make an investment through your own broker into that portfolio of stocks. So yes, there is an advisory element to it, but it's a third-party service given under a SEBI-registered research analyst. But the coverage is only for India as of now. Abid Ahmed is asking me, are there Sharia-compliant mutual funds in the US stock market? Yes, there are Sharia-compliant mutual funds in the US stock market. You should be able to get a list on the Islamicly app as well. So whichever mutual funds are Sharia-compliant, you should be able to see them on the Islamicly app. If you do not see them, and if you like a mutual fund, send us an email or send us a WhatsApp. We will immediately look into it and give an answer instantly. Let's say, for example, in Canada, we know that there are 2 mutual funds which are available. We have certified that those them ourselves. I also understand that there is iShares, which has got an ETF. I'm not sure whether they have a mutual fund. There are other mutual funds as well, which are Sharia compliant in the US market. Whenever you look at structured products, my advice again is the same thing: look for Sharia certification. Just because it has all the components of the ETF or the mutual fund are Sharia compliant does not make it Sharia compliant. Please be aware of that trap. Cryptocurrency, halal, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETF. We are not dealing in cryptos as of now. Our Sharia committee is not giving out whether crypto is halal or haram. We are not dealing in cryptos, so I'll refrain myself from answering that question. Stock prices are not updated on real-time basis. Also, financial data is also not updated on time. All right. This has been a long-standing issue that consumers have brought to us, that stock prices on the Islamicly app are not up to date. We clearly give out an indication over there that these are not real-time prices, these are indicative prices. So Islamicly is not a trading app. Islamicly is not a brokerage app as of now. It is connected to your broker to monitor your Sharia compliance. So the real pricing will always be, and real-time pricing will always be available on your brokerage app. Our pricing that we get is a delayed feed. Hence, it is not in sync with the market as of now. We're looking to work on it. We're looking to get real-time prices, but it's a very expensive proposition. We will do our best to get real-time prices in the future, inshallah. In terms of financial data, also not updated on time. I beg to differ on that. If you see, the compliance information is available on top as to when was the last update done on that app. So if a new financial data has been released, it has a specific tag within which it gets updated and the compliance is assigned. So we have a team of 15 research analysts, including an algorithm which does all of these things. So we have a massive team which looks at screening individually as well. So within a reasonable period of time, depending on priority, the financials are updated, and that is a primary objective of Islamicly, to give you the latest and the most up-to-date real-time information on Sharia compliance. So financial data will be updated in time. Yes, there will be a reasonable delay. When I say reasonable delay, should not be more than 2 or 3 days at max when the financial data will get updated. Moving on. Abid Ahmed is asking, is investing in sukuk halal? A sukuk is an Islamic, loosely speaking, sukuk is like an Islamic bond. A sukuk has a Sharia compliant certification attached to it. Yes, investing in sukuk is Sharia compliant. It is a halal instrument, but that sukuk needs to have a Sharia certification. So look out if somebody is trying to sell you a sukuk product. Look out which Sharia scholar has signed off on it. Look at its methodology. It should always say that there is a Sharia advisor attached to it, which will ensure compliance of the sukuk at any given point in time as well. So yes, investing in sukuk is Sharia permissible. All right. Somebody saying there's another app which provides a similar service and it covers most of the global market with single subscription. Absolutely. There are tons of apps which have come in following the Islamicly lead. It's up to you to decide which stocks gives you real-time Sharia compliance information, which app has a more experienced Sharia scholars board, which app is more research focused, which app's stock screening is more up to date, which app's which app's data is credible. You can verify it. Everything is public information, and then decide which app you want to go with. Definitely, Islamicly has a big Sharia board that it maintains. Islamicly has a huge team of researchers who works on it. Islamicly provides the best institutional quality research. So yes, our subscription has to come at a cost, and we have ensured that we give out the lowest possible subscription cost to the consumers. So our pricing is our pricing, their pricing is their pricing, our quality is our quality, their quality is their quality. There you go. Sarwar is asking which product is maximum Islamic Sharia compliance. I'm not sure what you're asking. If you can rephrase the question, I'll be happy to answer that again. All right, a couple of big questions have come in. Okay, have taken the green portfolio subscription and Islamically, can the green portfolio churn be monthly at least in present market conditions? 7K per year for 4 times churn appears costly and volatility prone. I will pass back that feedback to green portfolio. The essential question here is that if you have subscribed to the green portfolio and if you've paid like 7,000 for it, I believe there's a discount as well on it. So you should be able to get it for a slightly lower price. I'm not sure on what is the subscription cost of that. It's always about higher investing. So if you are allocating a portfolio, let's say of 25,000 rupees into green portfolio, in the Sharia compliant small case that they have created, then your cost of investment goes pretty high. I mean, 7,000 rupees on 25,000 is a huge percentage. But if you're investing 100,000, then your cost of investing is 7%. If you're investing 200,000, then your cost of investing goes to 3.5%. Whereas the returns that they have given is about 50% plus. So whether they churn it monthly basis or they churn it on a quarterly basis, we should all be concerned about what is the end result of it. If the end result of it is a good return, it has beaten the index as well. So we should be okay with it. In addition, churning also creates cost. So let's say they churn stocks more frequently. You will have to start paying those many times brokerage as well. So please consider that as well. So churning is not a very good idea. A more faster churn, a higher turnaround is not a great idea actually. But I'll still pass on the feedback. Dr. Saif is asking a question. How can you say that intraday trading is halal as it takes 2 days to transfer the shares in your demat account? It is a unanimous decision of fuqaha that unless you own something, you can't sell it. And intraday, you're selling without owning. Yes, I totally agree. Every Sharia scholar agrees, and it is beyond unanimity as well, that it is the decision of fuqaha that unless you own something, let's stop at this word, unless you own something. The second your trade gets executed in the market, all risks and liabilities of that stock transfers onto you. If the price goes up, after 1 second of you buying, who gets the benefit of it? You or the previous owner? If the price goes down 1 second after you have bought the stock, who bears the loss? You or the previous owner? You're getting my point, right? It means that in the modern electronically traded stock exchanges, ownership transfers immediately. Possession of that comes in T+2. That is because of the administrative issues and reconciliation issues the stock market has to undergo. It's a process. If anything happens to that stock, the company goes bankrupt before the stock gets delivered onto your demat, it is still your liability. If the company gets acquired at a very high premium, before the stock comes into your demat account, you still get the benefit. So the ownership transfers immediately as the trade gets executed. Possession comes in T+2. As you have yourself said, there is unanimity between the fuqaha that you should have ownership. The ownership is execution of trade, after which if all liabilities and benefits of that stock transfers onto you, you have paid the consideration for that stock. If the transaction is completed, you are the rightful owner, and hence you can sell that stock as well whenever you want, whether it's intraday, it's intra-second, it's intra-hour, or whatever it be. As long as a buy comes first, you have fulfilled the conditions of being a buyer, you can sell it. So please do not get confused between delivery of a stock in your demat account to ownership. Ownership comes instantly, delivery comes after a period of time. And as stock exchanges get slightly more modern and as the trading volumes increase, you can see in many markets you get delivery on the same day. There are certain US-based stock exchanges where you get delivery on the same day. What about that? There's no difference. So intraday trading is permissible if you have executed all the buy conditions and you have a confirmation from your broker that the trade is executed. So do not get confused between delivery and possession. Sorry, between ownership and possession. Sharia-compliant ETFs in India? I don't think there's any Sharia-compliant ETF in India. Somebody's asking for the Sharia compliance of a particular stock. That Sharia compliance of that particular stock can be found out on the app in real time. Please just put it on the app. And I think the ticker that you've given is not a stock. It looks to be a crypto. So we're not doing anything on the crypto. Okay, somebody's put up a comment saying interest is haram, even 1% or 2%. Unanimously, all Sharia scholars agree interest is haram, even it is 1% or 0.1% or 0.0000001%. So interest is haram. Nobody's saying that the stock that you invest in is halal. Please remember that. People might be using it colloquially. It is conditionally compliant. What are the conditions? That majority should be okay. And there is a Sharia ruling as well that the majority of a product, a majority of a commodity is representative of the commodity, is a representative of the scenario. The minority we should be able to ignore. Now here in this, if you study the Sharia screening methodology, even if a company gets less than 5% of revenue from interest income or from non-permissible areas, it is still classified as Sharia compliant. But this percentage of impure income is purified if you get a dividend from that company. That means if that impure income moves to your hand, you need to mandatorily purify it. Any screening provider which gives you Sharia compliance without giving you the purification ratio, that is not Sharia compliance screening. I am being very categorical over here. If any of the screening providers give you a Sharia compliance and do not tell you what the purification is, it is a very, very dangerous situation. The Sharia scholars say, if there is the best backing for investing in conditionally compliant stocks like the way we are doing it, is the logic of purification. So invest in that stock, but purify the impure income. It is mandatory. It is one of the most important things in investing in Sharia compliant stocks. So assigning compliance is not a very difficult task, but giving out the purification is the most difficult task, which only and only if you have a research team will be able to give you that number. Otherwise, you just can't automate it through AI, through ML, through algo, through a smart system. You can't do that. It's not possible. So I hope I've been able to give out a very brief answer as to why is this impure income tolerated. It is not permitted, it is tolerated, but it is also purified from the other side when that income moves in your hand. Somebody says they want to invest in the stock market, they open an account, but still they are not convinced because lots of scholars are still against it. But then there are lots of scholars who are for it as well. This is beyond unanimity now that investing in stock market is Sharia compliant. Unless and until, I'm sorry to say this, unless and until you go to a scholar who may not understand how a Sharia stock market works. But people who have dedicated their lives in studying financial markets, who have dedicated their lives in the financial matters related to Sharia, they have unanimity that this is Sharia compliant, that investing in the stock market is permissible. Yes, there are rules of investing. Not everything on the stock market is Sharia compliant. Futures are not Sharia compliant. Options are not Sharia compliant. Index futures are not Sharia compliant. So there are tons of stuff which is not Sharia compliant. Short selling is not Sharia compliant. Hedge funds are not Sharia compliant. Tons of stuff are not Sharia compliant. But there is a mechanism through which you can still invest in the stock market and make halal returns. Or let me not tell you it's halal returns, Sharia compliant returns. Moving on, if stock turned Sharia non-compliant after 90 days. Okay, somebody's asking if a stock that they have invested in was Sharia compliant, but it has turned non-compliant, and even after waiting for 90 days, they're still in a loss position. Should we still book the loss and exit or wait for the price to recover? There are two views over here. The first view and the most preferred view is to exit that stock, period. Book the loss and exit that stock because it is non-compliant. What business do we have from a Sharia perspective to be invested in a stock which is non-compliant? You are a partner, at least a disenfranchised partner in a non-compliant business. Do you want to remain in that state, or do you want to book the loss, get out, and inshallah try for some other stock? Simple and straightforward as that. But still, let's assume that you are not in a position to bear that loss. So Sharia scholars on not a very proactive way, but still allow you to be invested in that stock till you recover your principal. The minute you recover your principal, you should exit. In the meanwhile, if you get any dividends out of that stock, entire dividend has to be purified because a dividend has come in from a non-compliant stock. So I hope I am clear. The best practice is to exit that stock because it is non-compliant. Khalas, no argument, book the loss, get out. But if you are not in a position to bear that loss, not a preferable practice, but you can stay invested in that stock till you recover your initial investment. But if you get any dividends from that stock, The entire dividend has to be purified because the dividend has been paid out by a non-compliant stock. The entire dividend has to be purified. Okay, going to the next question. So if ETFs are very delicate, does Islamicly offer access to a portfolio of stocks that can all be invested in? You mentioned green portfolio is available for Europe. How to access this? Very good question. Yes, it is easy for us to sit over here and say that you can't invest in ETFs because of the intricacies of it. But what do I do? So we've made a start by giving you curated portfolios through green portfolio. This will also get expanded to other markets, including the US and Europe as well, including the entire world. So we will start creating portfolios across the world, which will give you access to a pool of stocks and give you Sharia compliant returns. So inshallah, very soon you will have that on the app as well. If a company that has activity, okay, let me rephrase it. So somebody's asking if a company's business activity is halal, but the company takes loans from banks, can we invest in this stock? It's depending on the Sharia methodology. So yes, if a company passes the business sector screening, that means the company is involved in a business activity which is Sharia compliant, but it takes interest-bearing loans. That interest-bearing loan should be less than 33% of its market cap. You got the point? So if the interest-bearing debt of the company should be less than 33% of the company's market cap, it is still permissible to be invested in. Here, why are we tolerating this interest income? This is an expense, first of all. This is an interest expense that you pay when you borrow. Now, global financial markets, unfortunately, are linked to interest. So if a conventional company goes to borrow funds, they do not have an option to borrow on an interest basis. Hence, they may be forced to borrow in an interest-based manner. Hence, we have to keep a threshold to discourage this practice, and hence it has to be kept to less than a third of the company's value. So that is the logic from a Sharia scholar's perspective. Obviously, the most preferable method would be that there should be zero interest taking or zero interest paying. But if you do a research on this methodology, you will find just about 300 companies in the world which are operating in a pure manner. When I say pure manner, it means it does not take any interest income. It does not pay any interest income. All its financial activities are in compliance with Sharia. All its business activities are also in compliance with Sharia. If you take these companies and take this criteria, you will be left with just 300 companies in the world. The list of these 300 companies is also available on the app. So if you go to the Islamicly app on the universe, click on the top right filter, which is the reverse pyramid in orange color, and then you can select a filter called 100% compliance. Now, a lot of markets will return no result because there is no such company, let's say in India, there is no such company possibly in the US, there is no such company in the UK, there is no such company in most of the markets. These pure Sharia compliant companies are mostly based in Saudi Arabia, a few in Kuwait, a few in the other GCC countries. Then you have a few in Indonesia, a few in Malaysia, or even less than those are there in Africa, and that's about it. It's scattered all over the world. They may not be very good performers. I'm not sure because we don't look at that side of things. But if you apply that criteria, you will be left with hardly any companies. And we have quantified it. We constantly monitor that as well. There are just about 300 companies in the world. Okay, Ahmed has given a good suggestion saying that the problem with EU is that it is a group of multiple small countries and not a large market as US or Canada, for example. If you want to access the EU stocks, he's suggesting that we come up with a unified subscription for the European markets. Inshallah, we will definitely consider this. I will write this down as well, that for EU, we can consider a unified subscription. We'll look into it, definitely. Makes sense. Thank you for the suggestion. Humaira is asking, gold-based funds are halal or not? Before I answer that question, let me tell you that we have another 20 minutes to wrap up this webinar. So if you have any more questions, please put them up right now so that we ensure that we cover them before we wrap up this Q&A. Very good question. Gold-based funds, whether they're halal or not. A gold-based fund, a gold-based ETF can be Sharia compliant. So principally, they should be Sharia compliant. But the same answer comes out that if a gold ETF is there or a gold fund is there, it has to have a Sharia certification to it, because gold has peculiar requirements from a Sharia perspective. The first requirement is that the transaction should happen at a spot price. It should not happen at a future price. The transaction should happen at a spot price. So if you're buying a gold fund or a gold ETF, the price should be a spot price. The second thing, there should be exchange of the commodity instantly, or there should be an exchange mechanism which will lead you to possession. It cannot be without possession. So any gold fund or any silver fund which does not give you access to delivery, or there's a delivery taken by your appointed agent. So there could be custodians who can take a delivery and keep the physical gold over there. That is also permissible. But if there is no possibility of a physical possession either by yourself as an investor or your agent or your trustee or your custodian on your behalf, then it is not permissible. So if a gold ETF or a gold fund complies with this condition, you can invest in it. Now, the best way to understand whether this condition is being complied with is that gold ETF or that gold fund should have a Sharia compliance certification attached to it. There are gold funds and gold ETFs which have Sharia compliance certifications across the world. I'm not sure in which country you are based, but given the interest in commodities nowadays, I understand there is a lot of work being going on in this space, and inshallah you should have products on that space as well. Dr. Wasim is asked a follow-on question. Is sovereign gold bonds in India Sharia compliant? The answer is no, because the sovereign gold bond available in India gives you a coupon which pays you fixed interest as well. So whenever this fixed interest component comes in, then it is not Sharia compliant. Because I've read through that scheme, the sovereign gold bond scheme of India, it does give you an interest payout on an annual basis. Hence, it is not Sharia permissible. Okay, somebody's asking, are you planning to open access to new brokers? Yes, we are constantly working on integrating new brokers. Inshallah, you will see 3 new brokers also coming up on the app. I can't be disclosing which ones as of now. But yes, 3 new brokers will also come up on the app, inshallah, very soon. Abid Ahmed is asking a question. I have invested in Tata Ethical Fund. Can you please explain how different is green portfolio versus Tata Ethical Fund? So there is no portfolio overlap. Okay. Tata Ethical Fund is a mutual fund wherein you pay the mutual fund and you do not have any say or visibility in which stocks that mutual fund will invest in. So it's a pool basis investment on a mutual fund, wherein the mutual fund manager takes a decision as to which stocks and what weights, in what proportion, at what timing they want to invest in. Your funds are in the custody of the mutual fund. That is the Tata Ethical Fund, wherein you just invest at the NAV and you leave it to the asset manager of Tata Ethical Fund to invest in whichever way he wishes. Yes, they do manage it in a Sharia compliant manner because they have a certification which talks about their investment management process to be in compliance with Sharia. With green portfolio, it's a non-custody based product wherein all the money still remains in your custody. You don't give the money to the green portfolio guys. They just suggest to you which stocks to invest in. That stocks as a basket gets invested through your own broker and gets accumulated in your demat account, and you can sell it anytime that you want it. You have visibility of which stocks you will be investing in before you put in the money. So that's the difference. In Tata Ethical Fund, you give the money at the NAV, the fund manager invests in whichever way he thinks or she thinks is the best way to give the investors return. Whereas in a small case, which is managed by a green portfolio, they give you a suggested portfolio, and you may or may not invest in that same proportion. You may or may not rebalance in the same proportion. So you still have control. So they have a suggestion and you have control. So that's the difference. Yes, there may be overlap in stocks recommended by green portfolio, which may also be there in the Tata Ethical Fund, Tata Ethical Mutual Fund. But Tata Ethical Mutual Fund is a pooled investment. So it's a separate class of investment compared to green portfolio. Yes, as usual, the recording of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel. So you can definitely, if you have to log out, or if you are not able to attend, this will always be available on the YouTube channel. All right. Somebody says they are new to Islamicly. Can you explain about the subscription charge? We charge a subscription which is monthly, half yearly, semi-annually. We charge monthly, quarterly, and annual. The best value that you get is on the annual subscription. Here and there, we also do run discounts for customers, so that we can encourage more and more people to utilize the services and be part of the ecosystem of wealth management, part of the capital markets ecosystem, and create wealth in a Sharia-compliant manner. It's pretty simple. Go to the app, select the market that you want to. It will prompt you to subscribe. You can then subscribe for either monthly, quarterly, or for the full year. The full year has a maximum discount. If you take it as a per day basis, it's hardly anything. It's less than a cup of tea. It costs you per day. That's the kind of pricing that we have kept, so that it has a mass appeal and a lot of people can use it. It's pretty simple. If you are still having difficulty in terms of how you can subscribe, just hit the WhatsApp button on the app, and somebody will be there on the other side in our customer support 24/7 to take you through the journey of how to subscribe. So we've got a couple of exciting offers already running, and inshallah in Ramadan as well, we should be having some great offers coming your way. All right, somebody's asking me a question. Can I hold or sell? Okay, they're asking about a specific stock. I don't want to name that stock because we are not, we do not want to create a name-based buy or sell kind of a conversation because of the restrictions from regulators. So he's asking a question, can I hold or sell X company share? Because as of now, I am seeing a lot of loss in that share. My answer is the same, because my answer is based on what the Sharia scholars have said, what the Sharia committee has said. If you're not in a position to book that loss, hold on to it. But the preferable approach is to sell that stock, book the loss, and move on. At the end of the day, please remember, whether you make money or you don't make money, it is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let us try and be Sharia compliant, okay? And then if something is coming on to us, it's most welcome. Yes, it doesn't mean that you don't apply your brain. You've got to apply your brain. You've got to tie your camel for security, and then pray to Allah that please protect my camel. If you just let the camel be loose and then pray to Allah that Allah protect my camel, Allah said that why didn't you tie it up? Simple as that. So yes, sorry for digressing from that topic, but the opinion of the Sharia scholars is what I can tell you. I am not a Sharia scholar on my own, so I cannot create rules or give you advice which is divergent from what the Sharia scholars have said. Moving on. Okay, very good question. If 5% non-permissible income of a stock can be purified, why not 50% purification or threshold be applied? So very simple. If I understood this correctly, a friend is asking that if there is a threshold of 5% impure income tolerance, and this impure income is then purified, why can't we keep the tolerance to 50%? impure income, and then purify 50% from that dividend. I need some time for this. Okay. If a company is deriving is deriving 25% income, let's say for example, from a non-compliant activity, so substance over form, that company will be seen as a non-compliant company. You are being part of a company which is doing a significant part of its business from a non-permissible area. Would you want to be part of that company? No. A company is manufacturing tires, gets 100. This is my favorite example. I always keep coming back to tires for some reason. If a company is selling tires and gets revenue of 100, total revenue, selling tires is $75, $25 they're getting from interest. It's only 25%, right? But it's a significant part of the company's operations. Would you want to be investing in that company? From which angle does it look Sharia? Substance over form. So the 5% threshold has come in to ensure or to give objectivity for a non-important segment or a negligible element. How do you define negligible element? In any scenario. In any scenario. Okay? Not more than 5%. What is negligible would mean anything which is less than 5% should be negligible. That is a paradigm that the Sharia scholars also have taken, that it should be negligible. The majority is representative of the whole. Got my point? So if it is 50%, that means it walks like a duck, talks like a duck. It is a duck. If 50% of its income is coming from non-permissible area, it is walking like a non-compliant stock. It is talking like a non-compliant stock. It is a non-compliant stock. Simple as that. So don't get confused between this argument of the 5% ही क्यों, 50% क्यों नहीं, ठीक है, 75% क्यों नहीं, इसको भी हम वापस जाके purify कर सकते हैं. Substance over form. I hope in a very clear manner I've been able to answer that question. What is the difference between halal returns and Sharia compliant returns? It's one and the same as of today, but halal returns would be in investment in such a thing which is completely, fully halal. There is no element of impurity in it. There is no ijtihad which has been done on it. Let's say, for example, you are buying fruits and selling fruits. The income that you get from it is halal income because you bought a mango, you sold a mango, you made a profit without lying, without cheating, by ensuring that you fulfill all the Sharia trading conditions. That is halal income. Sharia compliant income is what you get from stocks because the stocks that you invest in are Sharia compliant. They're not halal. They still have impurities in it, but they're negligible impurities. And there's a mechanism of purifying that. And that's why we call it Sharia compliant investing and Sharia compliant returns. So it's very subtle, but both are permissible. Halal return is definitely superior. A Sharia compliant return is slightly inferior to it. But in the context of stock market, as I said, there are only 300 companies which are pure. Do you want to restrict yourself to those, or do you want to go ahead with those companies which are having very negligible amount of impurities attached to it? All right, very good question again. Muhammad Usama Khan has asked the question. Let us consider a company which does not give dividend, but it has non-permissible income. Then how to purify? You don't purify. Why? The company got impure income. You did not get any dividend. How is the company paying a dividend? If a company is not making a cash transfer from its accounts to your accounts, where is the impure income coming in your hands? It is not coming in your hands. When it is not coming in your hand, you don't purify. But I still make capital gains out of it. That capital gain is due to difference of pricing of that company. It is not because the company got this impure income and that's why the price got increased. No, There is no correlation between this negligible impure income and the stock price of the company. So the capital gains that you get need not be purified. If you did not get any dividends, you do not need to purify anything out of that company, because the cash transfer of impure income that the company earned has not been given to you as an investor, and hence you did not receive any impure income. Hence, no purification has to be applied. Simple. What should be done if some companies aren't included in Islamically? As I said, we are interactive as well. If you search for a company, it doesn't turn up, it immediately gives you a prompt. Do you want to raise a screening request? You raise a screening request within 24 hours. For the 5 working days, we come back to you with the screening update of that company. Simple as that. So you can request a screening for us to do. We will do the screening and we'll return the stock on the app as well. You get a notification as well when that screening is completed. In addition to that, IPOs are covered on a live basis. Whenever an IPO comes in at 12 noon your local time, you will get a notification that this IPO's screening results are available. You can look into it and then invest in that IPO. So IPOs are covered in real-time basis. You don't need to query us. But still, if some IPO here or there in global market gets missed out, you can still request us to initiate coverage, and we will initiate coverage instantly. Okay, there are a couple of things I can't disclose as of now in terms of the future plans. So if people are asking me as to what is the future here or there, I can't be disclosing because we're working on a couple of things. As and when they're ready, we keep releasing them. Okay. Somebody's asking me, can you integrate with Think or Swim? Let me explore. Think or Swim. All right. I haven't heard of it earlier, but let me investigate this. Thank you for giving me heads up on that. Okay, we're coming to the end of the webinar, but still have a couple of questions to go. So let me go faster. Mr. Sheikh is asking me how to make 1 billion in 5 to 8 years and how much to invest. My dear friend, if I knew how to make 1 billion in 5 to 8 years, I will not be sitting over here and giving you a webinar on Sharia investing. I will be busy doing executing my formula of how to make 1 billion in 5 to 8 years. So I don't know the formula. If I knew, I would be busy doing that. Since I don't know that formula, I'm here. We are not investment advisors as of now. I am not an investment advisor as of now. Inshallah, in the future, something exciting is going to come. There are many companies which are Sharia compliant as per Islamically, but they support directly or indirectly the atrocities and genocide on the Palestinians. Can you not include a criteria to exclude such companies from the Sharia compliance list? All right, very good and important and relevant question. The Sharia Scholars Board is absolutely cognizant of this issue. Vehemently, they do not want to classify any stock to be Sharia compliant if they are directly involved in any of these, in any such Sharia non-permissible activities. The big question is, which company comes out and says that they are supporting the atrocities or genocide on the Palestinians? The question is being objective. You can't be subjective. You can't say XYZ company supports this or supports that. What evidence have we got? Where can we rely our data on? Do we have an independent authority which can give us this data? There are tons of questions. And this can become very, very politically sensitive. So, short answer, yes, the board is absolutely cognizant of this fact that they should not be supporting any such activity which is leading to hardship for the Palestinians or the Muslims anywhere in the world. But at the same time, we've got to be objective in our analysis. We've got to look out for adequate information before we make that move. As of now, we do not see any objective analysis around this. And by doing a very subjective work on this, it can lead to huge repercussions, and which will not be good for the Islamic finance community. And hence, I would say that please exercise your own discretion. Let's say Islamically classifies X stock as Sharia compliant, but in your opinion, in your research, in your understanding, you think that that company is involved in any of these non-Islamic activities, please feel free not to invest in that company. Simple as that. You may have better information than us. We, as a standard platform, as a uniform platform, cannot be making that classification. While we are very seriously monitoring this, but we have not found an objective analysis of this as yet. When we have an objective analysis to this, the Sharia board will be happy to make a decision on this as well. But the onus is on you as well. If you think that this company is involved in X or Y or Z non-Islamic activity, you can definitely make your own choice. That is where this question is now. Moving on, somebody's asking how to find gold ETFs. Do Islamically cover them? As of now, I do not see any gold ETF in India from a Sharia compliant perspective. Globally, there are a few gold Sharia compliant gold schemes. You can search for them, and it's a good idea that we probably publish a list of Sharia compliant gold ETFs on the platform as well. I'll write it down, and inshallah, as the list is ready, we can publish that as well. Any update on futures and options? What is the update you're looking out for, my friend? Long back, futures and options have been considered Sharia non-permissible. So the way futures and options are present in the market today, they are non-compliant. So there is no update. There is no further update on that. RBI sovereign gold bond Sharia compliant if we purify 2% interest? No, my friend. RBI sovereign gold bond is not Sharia compliant. You cannot invest in it. Lot of Sharia compliant companies support Palestinian genocide. What to do? I have answered that question. So first, let's try and make our own amal better. It is our deficiency in our amal that those guys have to pay the price of it. So it is not a very simple issue that you can just screen this thing out or screen that thing out, okay? Why don't we try and rectify ourselves? Automatically, the help of Allah will come. Automatically. I mean, what are we talking about over here? Okay? I mean, which company, okay, is that powerful to do XYZ activity and Allah cannot stop that? Think about it. Simple as that. If you have information about a ABC company doing XYZ non-compliant activity, do not invest in it. Raise a complaint against it. Let us know about it as well. We will investigate that as well. Happy to. I mean, all of these, I think, is lip service as of now. Sorry to say. Sorry to say. If we are serious about it, let's do something about it. Let's find out about it. Simple as that. So we can't, as a platform, we can't be involved in making a subjective analysis. The day we get an objective analysis on this, definitely something can be done about it. A lot can be done. Why something? A lot can be done about it. So in simple words, it's easy for us to sit over here and say, why don't you screen this out? Why don't you screen that out? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Do that. Okay. You also have the users also have a sense of responsibility at your end. At a platform level, we can only do this much. Okay. You can go beyond that as well. So that's the answer. I'm not sure what it means. Do you face any challenges from any regulatory bodies for listing or labeling Sharia compliant commodities as a way to promote shares? Commodities to promote shares? I'm not able to understand what's that. But if you're talking about global regulators, I don't think there's any problem. There are Sharia compliant funds listed in probably in most jurisdictions. US, you have Sharia compliant funds. US, you have Sharia compliant ETFs. Canada, you have Sharia compliant funds. Canada, you have Sharia compliant ETFs. You have commodity funds over there as well. Europe, the Sharia compliant funds, Sharia compliant ETFs, Sharia compliant commodities. GCC, definitely everything is there. India, Sharia compliant fund is there. Sharia compliant ETF, I'm not too sure about it, but Sharia compliant investing is available. So I don't think from a regulatory perspective there's any challenge as such on the equity markets. Brother Ismail is asking a question: which is best, Islamically or somebody else? It's up to you to decide. Okay, Hamida Khan. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up in another 10 minutes. Very, very soon. And I still have a couple of questions to go to, but I will definitely go through all the questions and then end the webinar. So if you have anything, please do it quickly. Hamida Khan says, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam. I also have same question about Tata Ethical Mutual Fund. I had withdrawn all my money from that fund as I came to know that Infosys, Wipro, etc. are not Sharia compliant. Now please explain to me what to do with the profit. First and foremost, Sharia Tata Ethical Fund has a Sharia compliance certificate. That means there is some Sharia Scholars Board which is monitoring the investments of that mutual fund and then giving the certification that it is Sharia compliant. So either we disregard that certification and make our own opinion, then we should do that for everything. Then you should not be asking us the question what to do. You should make your own decision. But if on one side we are saying that we invested in that fund, knowing that it is Sharia compliant, it has Sharia certification, but within that we still have concerns, it's not the right way of looking at things. So either you consider it as compliant or you consider it as non-compliant. That's question number one. Now, from our perspective, and even from the perspective of the fund and the Sharia auditors of that of the Tata Ethical Fund, all three of us believe that Tata Ethical Fund is a Sharia compliant fund. So any returns that you get from Tata Ethical Fund is Sharia compliant, subject to the purification number that they disclose. They call it purging, we call it purification. Simple as that. So in my opinion, the opinion of our Sharia scholars, the opinion of Tata Ethical Fund, and the opinion of the Sharia auditors of Tata Ethical Fund, the returns derived from Tata Ethical Fund are Sharia compliant, subject to purging or purification. Now, there's a second question that you asked, that in this, that you came to know that Infosys, Wipro, etc. are not Sharia compliant. On what basis did you come to know that Infosys and Wipro are non-Sharia compliant? On the Islamicly app, they are compliant. Which methodology says that they are non-compliant? I understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that all of these companies derive a significant part of their revenues from a segment called BFSI, correct? Because they derive a significant part, somebody derives 30%, somebody derives 40%, somebody derives 25%. So it's Tech Mahindra, it's TCS, it's Infosys, it's Wipro, it's Mindtree. Most of these companies derive a significant part of the revenue from a segment called BFSI, which is banking, financial services, and insurance. Okay, does not mean this BFSI does not mean that Infosys is doing the business of banking, is not doing the business of financial services, is doing the business of insurance. It means that they are deriving revenue from clients who are involved in this segment. So, for example, if Infosys is having a revenue from BFSI segment, it would probably mean that they have sold a software system to a bank. And that revenue is being classified as BFSI income. Now, here again, you will say, oh, sales to a bank. Okay. Sales to a bank and revenues earned out of a bank does not make that revenue non-compliant. Okay. Let's take, for example, a caterer giving food to a bank, and that bank pays him for the food. That food is fully halal. Will the income of or the profit of the caterer become non-compliant? No. Okay. Now, let's talk specific about the software. The software that all of these companies build is a huge software to manage all activities of the bank. Okay, is every activity of the bank involving interest? No. In addition to that, the same software is also used by Islamic banks. So the software is agnostic to interest or non-interest. It is the user of that software who uses it for a compliant purpose or a non-compliant purpose. And technology is such that it is pervasive nowadays. It's like the internet, it's like the water, it's like something which is there everywhere. It is not specifically used by these non-compliant businesses. So the Sharia scholars, especially the Islamicly Sharia board, has discussed the Sharia compliance of Infosys, Wipro, and such technology providers. They've looked at their contribution. They've looked at what is the kind of product being sold to this BFI segment, and they have unanimously classified these companies, technology companies, as Sharia compliant, and specifically classified the revenues from the BFSI sector to be Sharia compliant, because it is the software is not given only to compute interest. The software, a very small component will be computing interest. A big chunk of that will be keeping records, giving account statements. I'm talking very basic stuff, okay? Administration, credit control, risk control, KYC control, AML control, CFT control, PEPS control, sanctions control, accounting control, that what is the balance in your account, payments control, ensuring reconciliations. That is what the software majorly does. Approvals, record keeping, tons of stuff. Same software is also used by Islamic banks. I don't know from where is this coming. I've heard this multiple times in the market that Infosys and Wipro are non-compliant. On what basis, my friend? So that's my answer. Somebody sending us love from the Abu Dhabi. Thank you very much, my friend. Okay, should I give sadaqah of all the profits from Tata Ethical Mutual Fund or some percentage? Entire income from Tata Ethical Mutual Fund is Sharia compliant, subject to purification. That is the stand of Islamicly. Taiba says, why don't you provide discount on monthly subscription? We can provide a discount on monthly subscription, but what the monthly subscription is already very low, my friend. उसके नीचे और क्या कर सकते हैं? Something is coming up in the next 3-4 days. Look out for it. Look out for it. Okay, that might help you get a good price. Very clear and interesting webinar. Jazakallah. Looking forward to whole Europe market. Thank you very much, my friend. Okay. MK thinks it will take a few more webinars for me to still get convinced and take subscription. Inshallah, at some point in time, you will figure out which is the best course of action for you. And may Allah guide you in choosing the right screening partner in your quest for halal investments. And hopefully it comes to our door. There are repeat questions, so I'm trying to ignore that. Someone says the current portfolio is not getting automatically updated on the app. So please send an email to our customer support. That's info@islamicly.com, and they will be able to look into your account. If something is missing or there's an error, they'll try and fix it. It should happen automatically. People are asking about zakat calculation. We do not have that feature as of now, but it's work in progress. Please let me know the name of some mufti on the basis of which you are deciding halal or haram. All the names of the Sharia scholars are available on the app, on the home screen itself. So under the chairmanship of Dr. Muhammad Al-Ghari, based out of Saudi Arabia, I've already given his profile at the beginning. His detailed profile is available on the app as well as on the website. We have Dr. Sheikh Nazih Hamad. who is also on our Sharia board, and Muhammad Amin Ali Qattan. Dr. Muhammad Ali Qattan is also on our Sharia board. He's out of Kuwait. All of these scholars have more than 25 to 30 years of experience in Islamic financial institutions. Can we get access to world portfolios? The global portfolios are available on the app. Inshallah, the curated portfolios on a global level will also be available at some time. If your connection to your broker is not working, please write to our customer support team, and they will look into your account and figure out what is the issue, and they'll be able to definitely help you. Forex trading, halal or haram? Forex trading on spot basis and delivery and exchanging of currencies on spot basis is permissible. But Forex trading as given out on the trading apps are all Forex futures. There is no real delivery behind it. And hence, all of these Forex trading apps which are available, they are usually non-compliant. I cannot see the dividend purification history in my Islamicly app. I'm not sure why. It should definitely be there. If you've connected your broker to your to the Islamicly app, it will have the DP ratio history. There's a tab in the portfolio section which says DP history. Muhammad Rauf is asking, is there any offline seminars about Sharia investing? Not as of now. What about Forex trading, halal or haram? I've answered that question. Ethical fund have zakat. It is not related to the fund. Zakat is a separate calculation. The fund guys will not be able to compute the zakat for you. Is Wipro and Infosys stock halal? Yes, very much. From 2 lakh of investment, how much will we earn monthly? With 2 lakhs of investment, maybe 2 billion, maybe 2 million, maybe 200,000, maybe zero. I don't know. If I knew, I'd be doing that and not be doing this. But yes, we are coming up with something to help you out with these questions, inshallah. If your brokerage company is not available on the Islamicly app, you can still continue to do it offline the way it was being done earlier. Just send us an email as to which broker you're trying to use, and we will try and integrate that broker as well. There's a couple of questions in the Q&A sections also. I think they are mostly repeat questions, but I will be able to go them quickly. API of Islamicly is already available. Please send us an email to info@islamicly.com if you want an API from us. Dude, we've been doing this for the past 23 years. We had the APIs ready from 10 years back. So if you're a fund manager or if you are looking at running a bigger portfolio and you want an API connection, we'll be happy to give you that. There's a separate commercial for it. My team will be happy to take it forward. Okay. I'm just going through quickly. Intraday trading. I said intraday trading is compliant. There's an article on the app as well about intraday trading. You can definitely look at that. Okay. I think the same questions in the Q&A. Okay. Okay, the feedback from Samoon is well noted. We are trying to work it around. Technology as of now does not support syncing of your holdings if you bought directly from your broker, because there needs to be permissioning which needs to be inbuilt. That permissioning is what we are not able to get as of now. So there are technical issues in terms of syncing your holdings from your broker account if you invested it through your broker. But it is there is a solution in the market for it, and trust me, my technology team is very, very actively working on that right now to solve it. So this brings us to the last point, which somebody says Infosys is not Sharia compliant on the Islamicly app? I don't think so. Let me check it currently. I mean, as I can see, Infosys is Sharia compliant. There you go. Let's see Wipro. Wipro, is it Sharia compliant? Yep. There you go. Wipro is Sharia compliant as well. I don't know whether you can see it, but on your app, it's Sharia compliant. All right. We do not have a course as of now. So I'm not sure what Brother Faizan is talking about. Jazakallah khair. One thing, I have a small request over here. Please do pass on the message and the goodness about Islamicly to your friends. Maybe you can stop them from investing in non-compliant activities. We've been doing this for the past 3 years now. We still see tons of people having no idea about what is Islamic investments, what is Sharia compliant investing, but they still keep on investing in non-compliant stocks. And when they come to know that this stock is non-Sharia compliant, they have a huge portfolio and a huge loss to be borne if they want to exit the non-compliant stock. So please, in this Ramadan, one of the good things that you can do is spread the message that there is an app called Islamicly, which can help you in your Sharia compliant investing journey. If somebody, even if one person stops from investing in a non-compliant stock, all of that goodness, all of that sawab will come to you as well. So please try and refer as many people to Islamicly in your trading circle, in your brokerage circle, in your stock study circles. Keep on referring Islamicly. There is a referral program as well on the Islamicly app, which is available. You can see it on the app, but generally also you can refer it. There is currently discounts running on the subscriptions. There is a new subscription program coming up in just a few days, special for Ramadan, inshallah, so that we can have more and more people invest in Sharia compliant manner. It has been okay. I think I've covered all the questions. It has definitely been a pleasure addressing you. It's always a pleasure addressing you. We are always here from the Islamicly team in a very, very transparent manner that we would like to create as many products, as much financial empowerment, as much as we can, and create Sharia compliant wealth for our users and the Ummah in general. That is our main objective in launching Islamicly. And to the last question, which has come in, crypto spot trading, halal or haram? Our stand is very clear. Cryptos, we are not dealing as of now. So we will not be commenting on cryptos as of now. So Jazakallah khair. Please keep referring for your friends to Islamicly. Keep participating in our forums. If you have any questions, you don't have to wait for this webinar to happen. Just post it on the forum section of the Islamicly app. We'll be happy to answer those questions. May Allah keep us steadfast in this upcoming Ramadan. Make us steadfast in our Saum, as well as in our Salah, as well as in our du'as. There are lots and lots of difficulties our friends across the world are facing. It is up to us to create Sharia compliant wealth. And if we have Sharia compliant wealth, we will be able to support the Ummah the way we are supposed to help the Ummah. So may Allah help us, first me and then everybody else, to keep on the good work of investing in Sharia compliant manner. Thank you everyone for joining me. It has been a pleasure. I really enjoyed myself in answering these questions. If there is any confusion in what I said, please feel free to write to us and we'll be happy to send you a written answer on any of your questions. We look forward to having more and more engagement from every one of you on the Islamicly app. Keep supporting us, and inshallah, we will keep bringing to you, the best quality Sharia research from the house of one of the most experienced Sharia scholars board, and from ourselves. We are very, very humbled that a lot of you trust Islamically over everybody else. We strive very hard to keep up that quality. We do not try and do a lot of marketing or a lot of this or a lot of that, because our primary focus is to ensure we give you the best quality Sharia compliance information and inshallah give you the best tools for Sharia compliant wealth management. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ma'assalam.